The PO-33 is the best piece of electronic music gear you can buy for under $100 US, and of course that extends to its PO-133 cousin. This is the exact same thing, just a Street Fighter variant. Let's make something cool using this, the Cobalt 5S, and my drum set, right after we shout out today's patron. And that patron shout out goes to Kimberly Graciano. Thank you so very much for the support. Let's get started. So I've got a completely blank slate here. I've got no sounds on the pocket operator, no patterns on the pocket operator, and as you can see, I've got the Cobalt 5S plugged into the input coming out of the headphone jack here, and then this just goes to my audio interface so I can record this video. It has been a hot minute since I've used the Cobalt 5S. I actually kind of forgot I had it for a bit because I meant to sell it and I never did. So I'm excited to throw some sounds into the PO here and see what we can do. Now, one of the reasons I love the PO-33 and all the... I'm just going to say PO-33 from now on out, but I also, of course, mean the Street Fighter edition here too. But I love how simple it is, just by design. You know, the monitoring is always on. So we're just hearing the Cobalt right now through it. This actually sounds like a pretty cool lead patch. So let's go ahead and sample this to a slot. Now, one thing I don't like is that you do need to use one hand to trigger the sampling, so you only get to actively play whatever you're recording with one hand. But I'm going to hold record and put this in slot 4. So I hold record, hit 4, and then hit my key. There we go. Okay, I'm going to turn the PO up. It definitely sounds like the PO-33. It for sure has a bit of a lo-fi vibe to it, but that's okay. Also, it should be noted that I recorded this sample into slot 4, which slots 1 through 8 are melodic slots. That means we can play them back fixed to a scale. All right, let's find some chords to play, or maybe a bass first. Let's get a bass. All right, this is a pretty cool bass sound. So now, as long as I record the bass note as the same as the lead note, which was an E, they will be able to be played in key with each other. So I'm going to record this to slot 3. Okay. All right, let's grab some chords now. And all I want is a major chord and a minor chord. All right, I found this patch called Yesteryear. That's pretty cool. Okay, I'm going to raise the filter cutoff because we can actually adjust the filter using the PO-33 itself. There's a filter effect on there. So we'll just record that E minor, and we'll probably hold it down a bit. I'm going to put that in slot 1. Okay, cool. Now I'm actually going to record an E major into slot 2, and the reason for that will become apparent in just a minute. You'll also notice that our sampling time is already down to 10 seconds. I'm definitely using more than, you ideally would, but because I'm not going to have too many samples in this song, this is actually going to work out just fine. I'd rather be able to have those chords and the melodic notes stretch a little longer, because all we need now is some drums. And what better way to get some drums than recording some drums? So we are actually going to put this right here. We're going to record the kick drum. I'm going to hold record and record into melodic slot 5. And you'll see why in a minute here. Okay, we got it. All right, let's get the hi-hat now. So I'm going to hold record and record to slot 6. Okay, we got the hi-hat. And really quick before the camera falls, let's get the snare drum into slot 7. All right, good enough. All right, as you can see, we are back at the desk, and we don't even have the Cobalt anymore because we are done sampling. So let's listen to our drum samples here. I'm going to go to slot 5. Okay, that's That's good enough. It sounds more like a tom. But now we get to pick which pitch we actually want to take and put into a drum kit. I actually kind of like 16 here, but I'm thinking maybe 9 instead, just for a bit of pitch continuity, just in case. I'm not sure if that'll come into play, but yeah. So now I'm going to hold right, sound, and then push a drum kit down here, a drum kit slot, and then push a slot in that drum kit to put it into. So now sound 9 has that drum sound in slot 1 of slot 9, because slots 9 through 16 are drum kits, which hold 16 individual slices, but you can actually copy and paste sounds, individual pitched sounds, from slots 1 through 8 into individual slots within slots 9 through 16. It's a bit confusing. That was not the greatest way to explain it. I do have a full video documenting this, though, and I go into way more detail. So let's do that with our hi-hat now. Hey, the hi-hat actually sounds okay. We'll just take that one right there. We're going to go right, sound, slot 9, slot 2 of slot 9. Now, we've got the kick and the hi-hat in one kit. So let's go grab our snare drum now. That's all right. That's on me for not having a well-tuned snare drum right now. Let's go ahead and copy that sound into our kit. So right, sound, slot 9, slot 3 of slot 9. Cool. Now I'm actually going to go in and play with the start and end points of our samples here. So now we're ready to compose. So we're in pattern 1. Let's come up with a drum pattern. So we'll go so grab the hi-hat. Okay. Snare drum on beats 2 and 4. And I'm just toggling right mode on and off, by the way. Also, when you're in a drum kit that has multiple samples in it, or slices, you can actually see the slice that you have selected where it is in the pattern. Those will be the brightly lit keys, where a dimly lit key denotes a sound from that kit is active in this pattern, but it's not the one you currently have selected. So now we reach one of the downsides of sampling directly into drum kits, and that's the kit shares the same volume, filter, and tone parameters. So one way we can get around that is by actually going back to our sound in our original slot here, which is slot 6, the melodic slot, and copy it into a different drum rack. So or drum kit, sorry. We'll put it in kit 10, slot 1. And we go back into our original drum kit. We can actually take those hi-hats off and just use a separate track for our hi-hat. Now we are limited to 4-note polyphony on here, but because our percussive hits are so short, it's really not going to matter if we sequence appropriately. That's better. Now let's get into some melodic stuff. So let's grab our bass. We can play something like that live. And that's obviously more than one pattern, so I'm going to copy the current pattern that we have into slot 2, as well as slot 3 and slot 4. So now we have 4 patterns, and they're all just that drum groove for now. So let's chain them by holding pattern, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're chaining 4 patterns. I'm also going to bring the tempo down a bit, I think, here. We'll go, how about like 105. Yeah, cool. Now we're going to play something in live. I'm going to hit play. I'm going to let it play through once and then hold right and then play live as I'm holding right. Pattern 2. Pattern 3. Pattern 4. Here we go. Okay, looks like we missed the first note of our pattern, so I'm going to go back to pattern 1. Okay, we're already there. I'm going to hit that note there, and I'm going to place it right here on step 1. And here's something a lot of people don't realize you can do. You can actually hold down on a step and adjust the length of that step with the second knob here. So we could actually use this to shorten these steps up. Get something a little more rhythmic feeling. Yeah, we'll go to pattern 2 and do the same thing. Okay, pattern 3, we'll do the same thing on these steps here. And pattern 4. Why don't we pick this note right here? We'll copy it, we'll double it, and we'll set both of these to a length of 1. Okay, that didn't really have the effect I wanted. The sample itself was a bit too long. I wanted like a da-da-da. We can actually achieve that with a punch-in effect. Yeah, we'll use this one right here. So I held effects, hit this punch-in effect. Let's record that in. Cool. Let's reset our chain here, and let's throw in our chords. So that's going to be sound 1. So we're going to keep the chord progression really simple. We're going to hit an E minor on step 1. We're going to let that go for, we'll say 14 steps. Then we'll go to our major chord. Now we don't want an E major. Since we're in E minor, we want a D major. So we're going to put that right here on this step, and we're going to let this just go for 2 steps. And then we're going to go to pattern 2 and do the same thing. We're going to put that right there. Since we still have the D major selected, then we're going to go back to our E minor, put that on step 1, let it go for 14 steps. So here's our first 2 patterns. And then pattern 3, we're going to go down to a C major. So we want our major chords. And there's a C major. We're going to let that go for, we'll go 14 steps. Actually, we'll go 13 steps. And then we're going to put one right here and go 1 step. 1 step. Yeah, cool. Then we'll go to pattern 4, and we're going to go back to D major right here, and we'll let this go for, let's say, 8 steps. So that's our D major. Let's grab our G major, and let's go on the offbeats here, and we're going to set all of these to just 1 step. Cool, let's chain our 4 patterns and have another listen. Little bit of clashing between the bass line and the chords, but that's okay. All right, so now we can simply grab our lead sound and have a solo. Yeah, there we go. Some fun with some punch-in effects. Just some basic live playing. We could sequence in some lead parts if we want, but sometimes I just like soloing with a lead over a little backing trackish thing, we can call it, that we've created. So yeah, PO-33, fantastic device. Still, 5 years later, 6 years later, however long it's been, you can get one of these new for $99 US. I know Koala Sampler is out there, and if you don't mind working on your phone on a touchscreen, that's okay. But if you're looking for a pocket-sized hardware sampler with tons of third-party case support, you don't have to keep it bare like this, and you want just the basic functionality and the ability to sample and instantly use those samples both rhythmically and melodically, this is the device for you. Absolutely. Say what you will about Teenage Engineering. I'm not a fan of the pricing and kind of their later design philosophy. I don't know really what the hell's going on there. But the PO-33 KO continues to be a beast. And they also have the PO or the EP-133 KO2, which I'm actually hoping to check out in the very near future. Anyway, I do hope you found this video informative or at least entertaining. If you did, be sure to leave a like on it. If not, you can always leave a dislike. That's okay too. Doesn't hurt my feelings, just makes me try that much harder next time. Either way, be sure to hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell. Thank you all so very much for being here. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.